I have a bit of a gripe with netbooks. Netbooks are essentially computers strictly meant for accessing the internet and pulling off light-duty work, such as word processing and really nothing too beyond that, but it was primarily designed for the internet. The original Asus eeePC was a computer, again, designed primarily for the internet. You could run local applications, but it was primarily intended for the internet. It ran an operating system known as Xandros, X as in X-ray, A-N-D as in Delta, R-O-S, Linux, Xandros Linux. It was a modified version of Xandros, and it came with pretty much everything you needed to be connected. It came with a Skype client. It came with, or I should say it came with Skype, not a Skype client. It came with Skype, it came with a web browser, it came with email, it came with pretty much everything you needed to stay productive on the road, while at the same time being low power, basically not very resource intensive, and that's because Linux from the ground up has been built to be scalable to the point where you can make it very power efficient if you need to. Another example of the early netbook adoption was the Acer Aspire 1. And again, let me zoom in on this so you can get a better picture. But as you can see here, we've got a Linux-based operating system. Now, I'm not sure which version of Linux it was Linpus, I'm sorry. It was Linpus Linux, Linpus Lite, and it was designed for the Acer Aspire 1, but again, it was Linux. Trouble was, people were buying these and thinking, oh my gosh, how neat, a little baby laptop. These are not baby laptops, and that's what has me in a real stench about netbooks. It's because people are thinking that these are baby laptops that they're taking them home and expecting to be able to do everything they can on a regular laptop. They power it on, and they see either this, the Xandros operating system, or the Linpus Lite, and they are not willing to take the time to learn, and because a lot of people just want things to work and they don't want to have a learning curve, and they don't, they're not very up on the technology, so they're not really aware of the limitations of the hardware of netbooks. As a result, the Linux-based netbooks flopped, and people wanted to do this. They wanted to put Windows on a netbook. A netbook was never really designed for Windows, and the reason I say that is because what you have is a desktop-class operating system on a computer that was designed primarily for the internet. Now, what's the difference? The difference is, how long does it take you to get to the internet, especially with a full copy of Windows on board? With a full copy of Windows, sure, at first it may seem fast, but this is just my sixth sense talking. But I personally think that Windows has been designed intentionally to slow down. I think it was intentional to put into the code that Windows would slow down after a while. As a result, if you have a netbook and you're pulling it out and you're thinking, oh, I want to check my email, and you're waiting forever and ever for it to start, that really defeats the purpose of a really quick computer that you can get on and check your email and do what you need to do. That's what the eePC and the Aspire 1 had going for them. Extremely lightweight, lightning fast, super efficient, Linux-based operating systems that could get you on the web really quick, that could do what you needed to do and turn it right back off. But because people were not willing to learn Linux, learn the new interface, even though the new interface, I have to say, is quite simple and quite easy to use, the mass majority of people knew Windows and they didn't want to take the time to learn a new environment, which I think honestly is troubling. As As a result, again, they put Windows on the netbooks and have them on there until this very day, but a Windows netbook to me is not a netbook. Again, a netbook is designed to get you on the web quick. Windows doesn't necessarily get you on the web quick. Sure it does, but after a while, it's inevitable. With Windows, again, this is my sixth sense talking, but I think that they are honestly building in code to slow Windows down intentionally, because every time you turn on your PC, no matter how new it is, it just gets slower and slower and slower. Thankfully, the original netbook is being resurrected in the form of the Asus eePC X as in X-ray 101. So what's different about it? Let's zoom in and take a look. It has a regular Windows keyboard, right? It's incredibly thin, about as thin as a MacBook Air 11-inch model. But let's take a look at the screen. What the heck is that? That's not Windows. What you're seeing is a Linux-derived operating system that is called MeeGo, spelled M as in Mike, E-E-G-O, MeeGo. And MeeGo is a Linux-derived operating system primarily meant for netbooks, smartphones, tablets. They just released the development kit for the tablet, and in-vehicle applications. I haven't seen any in-vehicle applications. I've seen some smartphones on the global market. MeeGo you could always download for your present netbook, but this will be the first time I've seen it come preloaded on a netbook, which I think is very, very nice. The other beautiful thing is, if we go back to the Windows, you know how much it costs to get one of these things? Over $300, about $350 or so. Why? Because they need to pay a licensing fee to Microsoft. With the X101, because it is Linux-based, there is no licensing fee, and as a result, the price is quite a bit cheaper. It is $299, which I think is extremely affordable and downright, it's a steal. Then, of course, we have the Google Chromebooks, and everybody knows what those are. But again, the Google Chromebook, the eePC with Xandros, the Aspire One with Linux Linux, and the eePC with MeeGo Linux, these are what a netbook truly is. It is designed to, oh my gosh, I'm in the airport, I need to check my email, I only have 30 minutes to do so. You whip out your netbook, you flip it on, it's instant on, especially with the Chrome OS. It's instant on, you go to check your email, you're done, you flip it back off. Linux has the ability to be that operating system because it's so lightweight. And again, these are true netbooks. Again, the netbook, it's in the name. It's designed for the net. What you have with the Windows netbooks, yes, you can get on the net, but how long is it going to take you to get on the net after a while? And how many people, I'm just curious, how many people out there are using these as their primary systems? I'm sure it's doable, but again, it defeats the purpose of the netbook. In fact, it had gotten so bad, I remember a few years ago that there was something said that Microsoft wanted to kill the name because people weren't seeing these as devices designed to access the internet really quick like they were meant to be. They were seeing them as miniaturized, full Windows computers, and that's, I'm going to say it's a combination of things. It's a combination of Microsoft's and the OEM manufacturers' greed to score sales. It is a result of the computer user not willing to learn a new environment. It is a result of just basically a number of things that I think have necessarily, at least in its present incarnation, ruined the true meaning of the netbook. So I'm extremely glad that the Asus eePC is coming back with MeeGo and will be the first Linux netbook in quite some time outside of Google Chrome OS. Yes, Google Chrome OS is just a web browser, but under the hood, it's running a modified version of Gentoo Linux. So, again, a netbook, it's in the name. net. It's designed to get you on the net and fast. Right now, the reigning champion on this is obviously the Chromebook, but that's because there's nothing but a browser. The MeeGo interface, I think, is more geared to a social networking type of experience. It just feels like that way. The tabbed interface of the Xandros operating system and the Linux operating system, I think, were very, very nice. Again, a netbook meant to get you on the net. The Windows netbooks are not really netbooks. They're just baby laptops. And not only that, you know, again, after a while, the netbooks that run Windows get pretty darn slow. In fact, there are a number of Linux distributions out there. You could throw MeeGo on your Windows netbook. You could throw Jolly Cloud, which is primarily a web-based operating system designed for netbooks. It's actually a hybrid, again, of the cloud and localized apps, just like Xandros was. It's pretty neat. But again, the netbook, designed to get you on the net and fast without any major issues. If you have a Windows-based netbook, after a while, what's going to happen is you're going to have all these things load. Take a look at the task tray right here. All this stuff has to load. You know, if you're in a time crunch, you should be able to just whip out your netbook and do stuff. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, that's what tablets are for. Not if you need to respond to a quick email, I can assure you, because you have to make sure your batteries are charged. And I think that for a business professional, a Linux-based netbook, you know, if you're looking at email, the Chromebook, those are, I think, for the business professional, really gonna do well. And I can't wait to see the X101 on the shelves. But again, that's what a netbook is, and that's my gripe with netbooks, is that due to all these factors that I listed earlier, people's lack of willingness to learn due to that population that wants to get things done quickly, in the sense that they already know Windows and they don't want to have to learn something else, even regardless of the fact that Windows has a lot of faults. The OEM wanting to score big bucks, Linux netbook returns. I think all of this, and people not realizing that netbooks, again, are meant for the net. They are not realizing that these are, they think they're just baby, full-fledged computers. Due to the hardware inside, that was never intended to be the case. But I think that we're seeing that change, and unfortunately, the original version of the netbook has gone south. Maybe that'll be resurrected with the X101. I hope it is. But that's my gripe with netbooks, is that they've basically been ruined. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.